Gabrielle and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about seasonal affective disorder, aka SAD, and what I'm going to be doing this autumn and winter to ensure that my mental health stays elevated, on track, and I'm feeling energized, motivated, productive, healthy and happy. So I live in the UK and I live in the north of England in Manchester, and we are known for having really bad and really long winters. Literally, our autumn starts at the end of September. That's when the dark nights start. And literally, it doesn't get light till like the end of March when the clocks go forward, especially in the north of England, like in Manchester. Some days, if the weather's not good, you literally feel like you're living in a cloud all day. It literally doesn't get light. And what I've noticed is over the years, when it comes to this time of the year, my mental health and my general mood can take a bit of a nosedive, and I can feel lethargic. I can feel like I don't want to get up in the morning. I can feel demotivated, just not productive. I start craving sugary foods, junk food, like loads of carbs, comfort foods. And generally, I just feel like I want to hibernate away like a little hamster for the winter. And I just feel like I'm wishing my life away. Essentially, if you live in the UK, or maybe like if you live in the Northern Hemisphere elsewhere, like maybe Canada or somewhere like that, the reality is that we have a long, hard slog for winter, and it's going to be cold, it's going to be dark, it's going to be raining. So we have very much got to accept that, but also come up with strategies to ensure that we're basically not wishing away 6 months of the year. I want to enjoy this period, like autumn and winter. I want to embrace it and I want to enjoy it. And I want to make sure that I'm feeling good throughout this 6 months. Basically, since the age of 12, I have suffered with anxiety and depression. And I do think if you've suffered with that previously, if you have a history of mental health issues, specifically depression, anxiety, I do think you're more likely to get the seasonal affective disorder when it comes to autumn and winter time. In recent years, around the age of 30, I'm 34 now, nearly 35, I have made some radical changes to my daily routine and just completely rewriting the negative, self-sabotaging narrative of my mind that was causing my anxiety and depression. So I have made some major changes to elevate my anxiety and depression, and my anxiety and depression no longer derails my life and sabotages my life and stops me from fulfilling my potential. But I still have my off days. I still get anxiety even now. Like this last week at work, I've had anxiety. I've felt a bit off. But yeah, even though I've implemented these changes, this time of year, I'm just a bit apprehensive going into the autumn and winter now. And I just want to make sure that I've got a solid strategy and plan in place, because I've never really done this before. I've always exercised and ate healthy, but there's some stuff I'm going to talk about in this video, some new things that I'm implementing into my routine that are completely new. So it's a bit of an experiment, but I'm going to keep this challenge up until the end of the year at least. But then going on into the new year, to be honest, I want to keep this routine up for the rest of my life. I think if you really want to commit to getting your mental health better, you need to make changes to your routine, but it needs to become your lifestyle. It needs to become something you do daily, just like brushing your teeth, just like I go to the gym 5 times a week. These things like journaling and the other things I'm going to talk about, these nervous system regulation exercises, these need to form part of my daily routine, and they don't take much time. So there literally is no excuses not for doing them. So yeah, the format of this video, I'm going to talk about my top tips for combating seasonal affective syndrome. And then I'm going to go through in detail the routine that I'm going to be implementing from now until next March. Top tip number 1 is to get outside. I know it's dark, I know it's raining, but literally get outside, even if it's just for 10 minutes. So for example, last weekend, me and my boyfriend, we had a very chilled weekend. And on the Sunday, I didn't leave the house. I left the house to take the bins out, but that was it. I just stayed in the house all day. And I noticed at the end of that day, my mood really plummeted. And I said to him, I think we should have gone for a bit of a walk today. My mood feels down. And he said the same. Literally, even if it was raining, just get yourself out of the house, go for a quick walk around the block, go and grab yourself a coffee. I just feel like getting out, getting that fresh air in your lungs, having a change of scenery, going through the effort of having to get ready and put your clothes on, maybe put a bit of makeup on. I just feel like it makes all the difference to my mood. So that would be my top tip number one. And that is something I'm going to be implementing throughout these months. It's fine to have a lazy day. It's fine to have a cozy day where you just hibernate all day. But like I said, I have found if I don't just go out for a quick 10-minute, 15-minute walk, my mood does start to plummet when it comes to the evening. So to combat that, I'm going to be going for a little walk. Even better, if you can, go for a long walk. So even though it's cold outside, get appropriate clothing, get wrapped up, get a raincoat on, and go outside for a hike. I feel like in England, you can't let the weather put a hold on doing things that make you feel good, because like I said, the winter and autumn is literally for half the year. It's for 6 months. So we can't let that winter completely derail us. My top tips number 2, and it ties into top tip number 1, but that is to force yourself to do things that are going to make you feel good. Get into that mindset of being like, for example, this week, I didn't feel like going to the gym at all. Literally, my motivation this last week, as I've noticed, it's taken a nosedive. I just don't feel like going at all, but I have forced myself to go. Think long term. I'm thinking of my long term health. I'm thinking of my mood when I get home, and I'm thinking of the evening and how great I'm going to feel. I know if I just give up, I've got a weak mentality. I just give in because, oh, it's cold, and oh, I'm tired, and oh, I can't be bothered to go to the gym, so I'm just going to go home. I know that I'll feel 10 times worse. And the thing is as well, after the gym, when I do get home, and then I have a shower and I can relax, that relaxation just feels 10 times better because I've done a hard thing before it. And then I feel like I really, really deserve it and like I really cherish the moment. Top tip number 3 is to buy yourself a special seasonal affective disorder lighting, like lamp. I actually haven't bought one of these. I have a Himalayan salt lamp. We've got a Himalayan salt lamp in the lounge and I've got one by my bed. So as soon as my alarm goes off, I flick that on and that's a nice warm light. I feel like the white lights, like the traditional bedside lamp, it's quite abrasive and it's just a bit abrupt in the way that it wakes you up. I feel like that cozy Himalayan salt lamp, I absolutely love that. Maybe it's a bit too cozy though, because I feel like the Himalayan salt lamp is really good for when you want to go to bed, because it just makes you feel so cozy and sleepy. So probably in the morning, me investing in an actual seasonal affective disorder lamp, and I think they get pretty bright. I think that will probably be better in terms of me feeling motivated to get out of bed, because to be honest, this week when I've turned on that light, it still has been a struggle to get out of bed, but I do love my Himalayan salt lamp. I looked on Amazon and the seasonal affective disorder lamps, they were coming up at like £100, £99. So I was shocked how much they cost because it's literally just a lamp. But I would say if you struggle a lot with seasonal affective disorder, you're really struggling to get up and get motivated in the morning and have that nice, elevated, happy mood, I would recommend to do your research, look at the reviews on these lamps and maybe invest in one. Top tip number 4 is to embrace the coziness, embrace the autumn and winter months. So what does this look like? This looks like getting in the spirit of things. So cozy evenings in, lighting some candles, making yourself a hot chocolate, going for wintry cozy walks, getting wrapped up with your scarf and gloves on and hat, just literally embracing and accepting the autumn and winter months, not wishing your life away, not wishing your time away, not wishing it was summer, trying to have acceptance and embracing these seasons. So something I've done this year, which I've not done before, is I've decorated my house. I've bought some autumnal like pieces of decorations, which I'll show you now in a video. I'm not one for spending money unnecessarily. I don't want to be buying junk that's I'm just not going to use again. And I look back and I'm like, oh my God, that was such a waste of money. I don't want my house cluttered with stuff. But I have recently just invested in getting a few bits. They've not cost me loads of money. I probably spent maybe £100 on the whole lot. And it's stuff that I'll use again like next year, but it's just a few bits and I'll show you what I've got now. So this is my little autumn shrine. It's just so cozy. And my apartment, it's just quite, as you can see, it's quite grey. Well, it's very grey actually. So this just makes it so cozy and warm, and yeah, it's literally just getting these few little bits has just like really lifted my spirits. Like I love putting on the lights at night in the evening. So yeah, I've got my big Himalayan salt lamp. I've got like this wreath garland thing around the TV. I got these pumpkins. I got them from Asda, George Asda in the UK. I've got some photo frames. I need to put photos in those. We've got fairy lights that I draped all over the photo frames and pumpkins. And I've got my candles. So I got these candles recently, this last week. They're by a company called the Naked Candle Co. And they're a small business based in Manchester, and if you watch my previous video you'll know that I'm like really wanting to get like non-toxic products, and that includes candles, because me and my boyfriend have noticed when we burn like regular candles, like say for example this candle, it's just like a regular candle. It's not like these ones by the Naked Candle Co. They're like soy wax ones. They're naturally fragranced. And these don't irritate me or my boyfriend. But this one, I do love the smell of this one. But obviously it's artificial and it irritates us. It gives my boyfriend a headache. Sometimes I get a headache. And my lips get really dry when we burn it, which is weird. So yeah, I've invested in these two candles. It cost me about £44 for these two candles, and I absolutely love them. The smell, particularly of this one, is absolutely divine. It's called Orange and Cloves, and oh my God, the smell is absolutely gorgeous. This one's called Fireside, and it's nice, but it's not as nice as that one. But yeah, I just love these little bits that I bought were so worth it, just to uplift my spirits really. Like I said, especially in the evening, my mood tends to plummet. In the morning I'm usually okay, but yeah, the evening my mood tends to plummet, and this is just uplifting my spirits. I also got these for the kitchen, which are really cute. Yeah, just these little wooden pumpkins. And then this pumpkin, I actually got it from Aldi because I wanted to make like a pumpkin risotto, but it's so hard we couldn't peel it. So that just fit perfectly on my little kitchen windowsill pumpkin themed ornament shrine. Just having these few bits and making my apartment cozier has really elevated my mood, and I love my cozy evenings in. Me and my boyfriend, we don't really go out loads. We're not like drinkers. We don't really go out for meals that much. We just really like staying in the apartment, chilling, being in our own company, and this has really enhanced our evenings. Top tip number 5 is to implement a solid morning and afternoon routine. So I feel like if you know that you're susceptible to anxiety and depression, if you know that in the autumn and winter months your mood does go down and you feel really unmotivated and you feel sluggish and not productive and not energized, you need to take accountability and responsibility for how you feel, and you need to put in a plan of action and stick to it. Things that I've incorporated into my routine, which I'll talk about in a bit, they take minimal amounts of time. If you want to feel better, you need to make changes and you need to stick to them consistently. Because basically, having a better mental state, feeling more joyous, feeling more peaceful and calm, that is not just going to fall into your lap, especially if you're battling with anxiety and depression. Time doesn't really heal. That's one thing I've realized. I used to think, oh, when I get older, I'll feel better. In a few years, I'll feel better. I'll just grow out of this anxiety and depression. But you don't. It follows you around wherever you go, whatever age you are. And the time when I saw significant changes, positive changes with my mental health, is when I really looked at myself in the mirror, admitted where I was going wrong, admitted that I was the cause of quite a lot of my pain and suffering and bad mental state. And I dedicated myself to making changes and I stuck to them consistently. Top tip number 6 is to get away and have some winter sunshine. So have a holiday. To be honest, on the lead up to Christmas, my mindset, my mental state, it's pretty good when it comes to seasonal affective disorder, I think, because I'm getting cozy, I'm looking forward to Christmas. I can usually cope with it pretty well. I will say this year I've noticed a decline in my motivation with the gym already. That did happen last year. But the time when I really struggle is after Christmas. That period between January and March when the nights come light again, that's a period of about 3 months. It's quite a long time. The time that I really struggle. So next year, I'm thinking that in the February, we're going to book a sunny holiday and we're going to go to the Canary Islands or wherever else we decide. But that's something to look forward to. It's a good dose of sunshine for a week or 5 days or 2 weeks, however long you want to go. So I'm thinking that's a really good strategy to implement. Also, in November, we're going to Prague for my sister's birthday. Again, that's something to look forward to. It doesn't have to be a holiday. Maybe it's just something else to look forward to in your calendar over the winter months. Maybe you've got one thing booked in a month, like a day out. It's just something to look forward to just to get you through the winter months and just to help keep your mood feel elevated. You could even do seasonal things, like do something for Halloween, like have a Halloween party, decorate your house for Halloween, go pumpkin picking, just things like this, just to keep your mood elevated. My top tip number 7 is to take supplements. So I haven't actually taken any supplements yet, but one of my followers on Instagram, she's recommended vitamin D3 and K2. I've not done any research yet into these 2 supplements, but I've heard a lot on social media about people taking vitamin D and the effects that it can have on your mood. So that's something I'm going to look into, and I'm probably going to head to the shops this weekend, depending on what I find in the research, and I'm going to try it. I'm just going to try it and see if it makes a difference. K2, I've not heard of that before, so I'm going to do a bit of research into that. I'm going to see if there's going to be any side effects from taking these tablets. There probably isn't, but it's always good to thoroughly look into things before you start taking something every single day. Sometimes I think with these supplements, I'm like, do they actually do anything, or is it just a placebo effect? But do you know what? Even if it is a placebo effect, even if just the thought of taking these tablets makes me have a more elevated mood, I'll take it. My top tip number 8 is just to adjust your mindset, get a grip of your mindset, and get into the mode of acceptance and embracing these winter and autumn months. You need to get yourself into the driving seat of your mind and make sure that you are in control these next 6 months and that you're not at the mercy of your emotions and your impulses. If you let it, your mind will take you down this spiral of, oh, it's so dark outside. Oh, it's miserable. It's raining. God, this is so rubbish. I can't be bothered doing anything. When's it going to be summer? God, it's so boring in the winter. It's so ugly outside. Blah, blah, blah. If you let it, your mind will tell you that same thing, that same narrative every single day, like a broken record. And saying that to yourself every single day, how do you think that's going to make you feel inside? How do you think that's going to impact your behaviors and actions over the next 6 months? So you need to make sure when those thoughts and feelings are coming into your head, coming into your body, that you dispel them, that you challenge them. And part of that is implementing a daily routine that keeps those thoughts at bay and keeps your mood elevated and the narrative in your head more positive and accepting. So, moving on to my winter daily routine. So, my routine starts when I wake up. I'll switch on my Himalayan salt lamp. That just like helps me come to in like a nice way because, like I said, the light's quite warming. And then I'll get out of bed. I'll have a shower. So, when I have a shower, I initially have a warm shower and then I'll turn it on to maximum cold, and I'll have a cold shower for maybe 30 seconds, 1 minute. Most mornings it's 30 seconds, so really I should be hitting 1 minute. As the winter months are coming, it is getting harder to have that cold shower, but I'm actually having 2 cold showers a day, one in the morning and one in the evening. Some people might instantly turn their nose up at this, like, oh my God, I'm not having a cold shower in the winter. But you know what? Sometimes you've just got to do the hard things and you feel so great afterwards. So when I initially turn on the cold water, I'm like, oh my God, I can't be bothered doing this. But then afterwards, when I've had the cold shower, it just makes me feel so alive. And cold water therapy, immersing yourself in cold water, having a cold shower, it has been proven to help with depression and anxiety and just releasing those feel-good chemicals around your body. So I have my shower, then I come out the shower and I will do a page of journaling. So I've got an A5 pad and I'll do 1 to 3 pages. This week I've just been doing 1 page. So what do I write in my journal? I express gratitude for the simplest of things. Things like, so grateful that I've got 2 legs that I can walk with. I'm so grateful that I've got a sense of smell. I'm so grateful for my friends and family. With this whole thing with gratitude, it's really being grateful for the simple things, but the most important things that we really overlook, the things that we overlook that if they were taken away, we would be absolutely devastated. So it's usually stuff to do with my family and friends and stuff to do with my health. I also write affirmations. So I'll write statements like, I'm super confident, I am full of creative ideas. Everything I touch turns to gold. I fear nothing and no one. Today is going to be an amazing day. I'm going to feel super energized. I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be confident. They might sound a bit cringy to some people, but this is generally just the stuff that I write just to make me feel good. And that stuff that you're writing, like, I feel like there's a special magic when it comes to putting pen to paper and seeing each and every letter that you write out and every word. And I feel like that goes into my subconscious and it is helping me to maintain this rewiring of the narrative in my mind. Like I said, I've suffered with anxiety and depression since the age of 12. From the age of 12 to 30, there was a very negative narrative playing in my mind, and it caused me to completely sabotage my life. So for me, rewriting that narrative, that broken record that kept playing every single day, that has been the ultimate game changer in me getting back a sense of confidence and finding my purpose in life and feeling peace, cultivating a sense of peace and calmness and connection with my body, mind, and spirit. So yeah, journaling is a profound practice for me. So I do 1 to 2 pages. I do write about what I'm grateful for. I write affirmations, and I also write about my dreams and goals as if they've already happened. The reason that I do that is because it's instilling this feeling that what you want, you've already got already. That might sound a bit woo-woo to some people, but it's just putting yourself in this state where you're operating in a space where you already are that future person that you want to be. And it's just visualizing that dream, that goal, and it just helps make it a reality and solidifies it in your mind and body. Also, in my journaling, if I've got something on my mind that's irritating me, I will just generally write that out and try and think about it from an outsider's perspective without emotion, look at it objectively, try and come up with a solution as to what's triggering me and how I need to go forward with that. So after the journaling, I do my NSR exercises. NSR stands for Nervous System Regulation Exercises. So this is something new, completely new, that I've only just started implementing this week. So I'm actually on day 5 today of doing these NSR exercises. And I heard about these exercises from this book that I started reading a month ago, and it's called The Secret Language of the Body. I'll put it up on the screen. And this book has just been a game changer for me, and it's about nervous system regulation. You've probably heard on social media about people with dysregulated nervous systems and the things that they're doing to try and regulate their nervous system. Basically, in the book, the author says that your nervous system can hold you in 3 different states. State 1 is an energized, connected, peaceful, grounded, purposeful state. That's the state we should be in for the majority of the time. State 2 is your flight or fight stage. So if there's a perceived threat, your nervous system will kick you into stage 2. The adrenaline will start going, your heart will start pounding, you'll have anxiety, you'll have fearful, fast thoughts going on in your mind. You'll be ready to attack or get out of there. Stage 3 is the shutdown stage. So stage 3 is when your anxiety has been elevated so much that your body goes into shutdown. Symptoms of this stage include feelings of being doomed, hopelessness, being very lethargic, just feeling like you want to hibernate, being really depressed, having really low mood. So in this stage, your body is literally just breaking down and just giving up, and you're just like literally curling up into a ball. Basically, what the author is saying is that your nervous system should put you into stage 2 or 3 when there's a perceived threat, but then it should knock you back down to stage 1. But if you've been through some trauma in life, your nervous system can just be operating daily in stage 2 or 3. So daily, you're just operating in this shutdown mode, or you're operating in this flight or fight mode. That isn't healthy. And that's why these days people are getting chronic mystery illnesses. So like chronic fatigue, stuff to do with your digestive system. So like IBS, fibromyalgia, so like chronic pain conditions. And these are conditions where you go to the doctor doesn't really know why you've got them, but it's probably because of stress. They give you a load of pills to sort it out, and you're never able to cure these disorders, and you're just left to deal with this disorder for the rest of your life. Because basically, when you're in a chronic state of stress and shutdown for many, many years, you can imagine the toll this takes on your body on a cellular level, and why your body will start to break down, and why you'll start getting autoimmune diseases and chronic long-term diseases. So even though I've implemented stuff over this last few years that has helped me elevate my anxiety and depression, from time to time, I just know that my mood could be better. I could be feeling less anxious. And for example, I've suffered with stuff like hair loss, like shedding quite a bit of hair. And I've recently had a rash on my middle finger. It's actually gone now. It's been gone for the last few weeks. But I believe that comes up as well with feeling stressed. So at the minute, my focus, especially with it being the autumn and winter months, when I know my mood generally tends to go lower, I really think that my body is sometimes operating in stage 2 and 3. And I want to bring myself back down to that stage 1. I want to be in that stage 1 state of feeling connected, feeling peaceful, feeling happy and grounded. I want to be in that state 90% of the time, and then fight or flight and shutdown mode. That should only be when like a super stressful situation comes up, but then my nervous system brings me back down to stage 1. So that is a key focus for me over the next 6 months. So I'm implementing these exercises in the book. The author describes quite a number of exercises, probably over 10 exercises that you can do, help regulate your nervous system and fix your nervous system essentially. So I'm going to be doing 2 to 3 of these exercises every morning. And at the end of the year, I'm going to do another YouTube video, and I'm going to report back on how I'm getting on with it. like I said, at the minute, it's day 5. When I've done these exercises this week and I've done my little routine of a cold shower, journaling, and 2 to 3 of the exercises, I have felt lovely and peaceful, and it's been a lovely way to start the day. It's been really nice. But, like, for example, yesterday, even though I did this routine, I still had some anxiety at work. And I don't know why, because nothing bad happened, but I just felt unsettled within my body. And when I was communicating with my colleagues, I just felt a bit anxious. For some reason, I just get this anxiety sometimes. And I just wish it would go away. It's just like so annoying. So, yeah, even though I did these exercises, I still had that anxiety yesterday, but we're only on day 5. So, literally, the way I'm thinking about it, it's like when you first start the gym, you cannot be expecting results on day 5 of going to the gym. It's like after 4 weeks that you see like proper results. And I feel like anything to do with your mind and stuff to do with these exercises, it's the same thing. It's like building a muscle, flexing a muscle. You've got to keep doing it every day, consistently over a long period of time, and be disciplined and dedicated and stick to the practice to see long-term results. And you've got to keep it up for the foreseeable. This isn't just doing this for 3 months and then you feel better and then you fob it off and forget about it. You need to keep it up every day. But literally, this morning routine, it takes 30 minutes out of my day. Quite often I will put stuff off that's good for me. So even this week, even though I said I've enjoyed doing this morning routine, there's been a couple of mornings, including this morning, where when I get up, I put off doing this journaling and these NSR exercises. I feel this urge to just go on my phone or just sit there, lie there and do nothing. And I'm like, why do I do that? Why do I put stuff off that I know is good for me? And when I come to doing it, I really enjoy it. But I think that's just part of being human. So I'm not going to be too hard on myself. But I'm going to document this journey on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram account name up here. If you want to follow along, there's a highlight on my account page called NSR. And every day I'm going to be posting about how I'm doing on this winter mental health challenge. So that's my morning routine. Then during the day after, I'll be eating my healthy foods. So I eat 90% healthy, vegetarian, whole foods. I do eat chocolate. If I go out, like I'll get a pizza or chips or whatever. Like I don't restrict myself with stuff like that. I eat chocolate most days, but I tend to stick to dark chocolate. But I tend to find that eating healthy just makes me feel really good. It makes my body feel good. I don't feel sluggish after eating my food. I feel energized. I feel really happy that I'm nourishing my body and respecting my body. And it's just a really nice feeling to know that I'm looking after myself, because over the last 20 years, I have abused my body. So in the past, I had eating disorders. I've harmed myself in various ways as well. I had a skin picking disorder. I've talked about these disorders in previous videos. If you go on my channel, I've only done a few videos so far, so you'll see I've documented what happened to me in the past with these various things. So I really get a buzz off being kind to my body, and part of that is eating healthy foods and nourishing myself, giving myself these vitamins and just setting myself up to thrive. So that's part of my daily routine. And then after work, 4 times a week, I'll go weight training, and I also do some cardio. So Monday, Tuesday is weights. So Monday's legs, Tuesday is shoulders and triceps, and I do 20 minutes on the stepper as well. Wednesday is my rest day, which is really nice midweek. Sometimes maybe I'll go for a run on a Wednesday, but not usually. Thursday's legs again. Friday is back and biceps, and also I do another 20 minutes on the stepper. Saturday, I usually have a rest, or I might go for a run on Saturday or Sunday. So that's my weekly exercise regime. Going to the gym, like I said, most of the time beforehand, I really can't be bothered. My mind will tell me, you can't be bothered. You've done a full day at work. You've not got the energy. There's this urge to just go home, have a shower, get in my cozies, my comfies, my dressing gown, my PJs, have some food and just like chill and watch TV. The thought of going to the gym, I'm just like, oh God, it just feels like such a slog. But I commit myself and I'm disciplined and I make myself do it because I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking of my long term health, but not only that, I'm thinking of my long term mental health as well, and how I want to feel this evening and how I want to feel throughout the months and throughout the autumn and winter. And I know these little habits every day, such as going to the gym, doing my journaling, etc., it's going to set me up in the right way to feel physically and mentally well. And then in the evening, I'll come home, I'll have a shower. Again, I'll have a hot shower. Then at the end of the hot shower, I'll have a cold shower. I'll eat a healthy dinner and then I'll settle down for the evening. So in the evening, I really try and not go on my phone too much. Me and my boyfriend will usually have a chilled evening. We'll watch something on TV together. I try and go to bed at a decent hour as well. I set my alarm for about 5:30 every morning. So I want to be asleep latest 10 p.m. Some nights it's earlier, some nights I go to bed at 9:30. I'm someone who really needs like 7 to 8 hours sleep, no less than 7 hours, or it's just too little for me and it really messes up my day the next day. Prioritizing sleep is critical. Like if you suffer with insomnia, I can remember I used to suffer with insomnia a few years ago, and that really, really messed up my day and my whole mood. I feel like when you've got insomnia, you're definitely going to be more anxious. You're definitely going to feel more depressed. You're going to be craving sugary foods because you're going to be tired. Comfort foods, loads of carbs. You're going to be feeling sluggish. I can remember I used to forget things. It's just like my brain weren't working. If you've got insomnia, the things that I just talked about in this routine, so healthy eating, journaling, cold water therapy, other stuff like meditation, yoga, other forms of exercise, that's really going to help you with your insomnia. Another thing that we do, but we don't do often. So me and my boyfriend, when we went on holiday the other month, we started reading together and I thought it was a really cute thing. So since we've been back, we've been trying to keep that up. I will say we've not done a very good job of keeping that up. Since we've been back, we've only had one reading club together, which was last weekend. But yeah, in the evenings, some evenings, instead of watching TV, I've said to him we should read our books instead, because reading is so good for you. It's such a calming activity. It's helping you with your vocabulary and knowledge, and I just think it's a nice, peaceful thing to do before you go to bed instead of going on your phone. So things that I'm avoiding this autumn, winter to make sure that I keep my mental health on track. So I'm avoiding alcohol. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to drink at all. Maybe I'm going to have the odd Baileys over the winter period. I do love a hot chocolate with Baileys in. But overall, this last year, I have basically nearly been teetotal. I've probably had 12, 15 drinks in the last year and 4 months. I find that alcohol, I never feel that good when I drink it. It actually makes me really sleepy. So if I'm in a social setting where I need to be talkative, I'm quite an introverted person. Unless I really know someone, then I'm quite chatty. So when I'm in a social situation, I need the maximum amount of energy. And alcohol, yeah, it makes me feel really tired and it makes me like quite quiet. So it's no good for me in social situations. Also, I sort of had a bad relationship with alcohol. I'm not someone who will just have a couple of glasses of wine with dinner. I don't see the point in that. I don't even like wine. I don't even really like the taste of alcohol on overall. So my pattern with alcohol was just getting absolutely smashed, like having a blowout every 3 to 6 months. And then the next day I would just find myself in a pit of despair. I'd be in bed all day. I'd feel terribly anxious. I'd feel depressed for the next week. I wouldn't want to go to the gym. The next day, I'd just feel so hungry. I'd be craving junk food. Then I'd get like a breakout on my skin. Yeah, I've just given up alcohol for the most part. Like I said, I'll have the odd drink, but I know it's like the Christmas period. This is a time, especially in the UK, there's a lot of alcohol involved, but I'm here to say, if you don't want to do that, if you really tune in with yourself and take notice of how your body feels and how your mind feels after drinking alcohol and during drinking alcohol, really get real with yourself and be honest with yourself and really get serious about feeling better mentally and physically. Sometimes we just need to give up things. Know that like maybe your partner drinks, people in your family are big drinkers, like your friends drink, it's a social thing. but what is more important, like your mental and physical health or trying to keep up with what everyone else is doing? But I will say I've noticed a movement recently where people are reducing their drink and even completely going teetotal. I've definitely seen a movement on social media. I know that the younger generation, they're not really into alcohol as much as I was when I was a teenager. And I think that's amazing because I've heard that they're really into their fitness. Literally, to cut it out, I just think that's such a good thing for your mental and physical health. And I don't think you're missing out on anything. But other things that I'm going to be mindful of and cutting out, like I said, too much time on my phone, especially in the evening. I notice just any time I go on my phone for a long period of time, I notice my mood tends to go down. So trying to keep off my phone, trying to be mindful with my diet. So maybe I might be having cravings for comfort food, for junk food, for sugary food, but trying to keep it a good balance. So 90% of the time, I'm eating really healthy foods, 10% of the time, I'm having bits of chocolate. Also, something that I've cut out that I know people find hard to give up is caffeine. So, caffeine makes me really anxious. Literally, the other day, I got a decaffeinated coffee, but I think sometimes the decaf gets a bit contaminated with the actual caffeinated beans. And I felt absolutely terrible. Like, so it makes me feel so anxious. It could just completely ruins my day. So I think if you suffer with anxiety, you just need to give up caffeine. And I know it's something that, oh, but I always have my coffee in the morning and I just love that bit of my day. It sets me up for the day. But again, you have got to get real with, do you want to actually feel better or not? Like, you're going to have to give up some things. You can still have coffee, you can still have your coffee in the morning, just get a decaf. To conclude this video, I hope it's helped some of you who suffer with anxiety and depression and seasonal affective disorder. I hope these tips have been helpful. I hope my routine can inspire you to come up with your own routine. You don't have to do exactly what I've done. So many different things, like healthy, I call them healthy crutches, that you can incorporate into your day that just pick you up and elevate your mood. Literally just experiment with different things. Like, maybe your thing isn't a cold shower, maybe it's doing yoga, maybe it's listening to calming music, maybe you're not into doing weightlifting, so maybe your thing is Pilates, more slower forms, gentler forms of movement. Have fun experimenting and come up with a routine that's feasible for you to stick to. Be disciplined, stay consistent, get serious about wanting to feel better mentally and physically. Like I said, time doesn't generally heal. Time doesn't bring about any profound changes when it comes to your mental state. When I started feeling really better was when like I said, I looked at myself in the mirror and I admitted my faults and what I needed to improve, and I made some serious changes and I stuck to them because I was so sick of feeling so crap all the time. I was sick of feeling lethargic and unmotivated and sick of living in fear and not realizing my potential. And I was just sick of living under a cloud of low mood and depression. I knew there was a better way to live. And even now, I know that there's more that I can do to help me when it comes to my mental health. I know that I need to decrease my anxiety some more. I know that in general, my mood could be more lifted and elevated. So this winter, I am dedicating myself to doing this challenge, and I'm going to hold myself accountable because I am determined to feel better. I'm determined to embrace and accept these autumn and winter months and thrive during these months and not feel like I'm wishing away this 6 months to the summer. Thanks for listening, everyone. I'll do another video at the end of this year and I'm going to let you know how I've got on with the nervous system regulation exercises and if I've seen any profound changes within me. But yeah, see you next time. Thanks for listening.